Welcome to Today in Putnam County, hosted by Putnam County Mayor Randy Porter, the show that takes a look at the events and what's happening all around Putnam County, as well as interviews with local, community, and business leaders. And now, sharing his insights and experience, here's Today in Putnam County with County Mayor Randy Porter.
Welcome to Today in Putnam County. I'm your host, County Mayor Randy Porter. Hope you're having a great week. My guest this week is Mike Womack. And Mike is involved. He's the executive director of Feed America First. And we're going to talk about it today. It's a great nonprofit that helps people that have food insecurity. And that's an issue that I guess most of us would think in 2025 wouldn't be an issue, but it is. And Mike and his group do a great job. Mike, thanks for being on the show this week.
Thanks for the invite.
Feed America First. I know you've been involved with it for 13, 14, 15 years, but it's actually celebrating its 25th anniversary as a nonprofit, right?
It is. In that 25 years, I think we were trying to add it up. We've probably gave away over 200 million meals, which is incredible when you think about the amount of that. And and you're right. A lot of people think that hunger is a thing of the past, but it's just sneaky.
Yeah.
There's people in your neighborhood, there's people in your school, there's people in your work that are hungry, and you just don't know it.
I was looking at some numbers, of course, off the internet with Google. Said 17.9% of all the households in the United States at some point experience food insecurity or their lack of food availability, and that was back in 2023. And I know we have issues here. With some of our school kids that they created what we call the backpack program or PELP, that they pack food in those backpacks, and every weekend or on fall break, spring break, summer breaks, holidays, those kind of things that they send home with those kids. If they don't, they might not have anything to eat.
Right.
And that's mind-boggling, isn't it, Mike, to think in 2025 of all the food availability that there is out there. I mean, and the food we waste too, don't we?
40% of the food still ends up in the landfill in this country.
That's crazy, isn't it?
It's crazy. It's a crazy number.
And so Feed America First, tell us about it. You're capturing a lot of that food and making use of it to get to those people. Tell us about Feed America and how that works.
We're based out of Murfreesboro, Tennessee, and a lot of times that makes people of my hometown of Cookeville shy away from us a little. But we, if you were to take 250 miles around Murfreesboro, that's our footprint.
Wow!
So, like on the second Thursday of every month, we are set up delivering food in Ocoee, Tennessee. And we've got another delivery at the same time in Savannah, Tennessee. So we're 250 miles apart. We also do North Alabama, North Mississippi, Southern Kentucky. We have a pretty large footprint.
That's amazing. And so how's the operation work? I mean, you're getting this food from stores or whatever? How's it work?
A little bit. When we were founded in 2000, Tom Henry was our founder, and Tom came out of the restaurant world and realized, how can I make my knowledge of the food world to a better good? So through a Bible study, Feed America First was birthed. He realized at that point that there's so many great food pantries. Most churches have food pantries of some size.
Right.
And we didn't need to reinvent the wheel. What we needed to do was help them get more food. So we're almost the middleman, the bulk person on the middle side. We focus on rural, where Second Harvest, most people know Second Harvest, they focus more on metro.
Yeah.
And so, for instance, through our partner agencies of over 125 partner agencies, we'll feed 40,000 families a month.
Wow. And
if you do at on an average of 4 people a family, that's over 160,000 people
that you're feeding every month.
It's crazy. When I stop, it's really easy for me to set and talk numbers.
Yeah.
But when I stop and think about the impact of 160,000 people, it's mind-boggling to me.
In a 250-mile radius around Murfreesboro.
And we know there's still people
that you're not touching.
we're not touching.
So how does that work? I mean, you have a warehouse in Murfreesboro that you keep the food at and then just
We do.
distribute out
We
of?
have a 20,000 square foot warehouse with a 8,200 square foot cooler, 3,000 square foot freezer inside of it, so it's all industrial. We have 4 box trucks, 2 trailers, 2 tractor trailers, and through that, there's only 8 of us. So when you think about what
Wow.
we can accomplish, and I say we're a faith-based nonprofit. So when I
Right.
say we, I mean by being empowered by the Holy Spirit to make this happen,
Right.
and tons of volunteers.
Volunteers. So you've got these I guess grocery stores and places or that the food's coming from, and so do you have to go and pick it up at those places, or do they bring it to you? How's it work?
We do. We've gotten to the place now where this may sound crazy. We're a little too large for the typical grocery store. But what we do is we will set up one of our partner agencies in a local area. If we get a store that calls us and says, "Hey, can you help us out? We don't want to throw this away."
Yeah.
And so we'll find someone that's close to them that's already feeding hungry families and say, "Hey, can you pick this up for us?" and immediately give it away.
Yeah.
We typically look at distribution centers. Walmart Distribution Center in Shelbyville is a huge donor of ours. Pepsi of Nashville is a huge donor of ours. It's all on the bulk side. Pallet in, pallet out. 90% of the food that we have is donated food. And so when we go out and say, "Hey, we need help feeding more people," people are like, "Well, you're not paying anything for food." Well, mostly that's true, but you have to go get it. So it costs fuel.
Involved in it.
A
Yeah.
lot of fuel. You think about just fueling up your car. Well,
Yeah.
fill up a tractor trailer, and then travel miles and miles to go do it. So there is an expense, but just to kind of give you an idea, and I think one of the coolest things that we're so proud of as a nonprofit, we're a 98.2 company. So only 2 cents out of every dollar you donate to us goes to overhead.
Wow.
Most nonprofits can't say that.
No, that's very admirable for Feed America First to be able to do that. We're talking with Mike Womack. He's with Feed America First. They're a nonprofit located in Murfreesboro. They serve 250 miles around Murfreesboro, so they serve Putnam County. Known Mike for a long time, and they got a great program where they are making sure that food that would normally be thrown away is brought into their system and put out to people that are hungry and in need. And that's amazing. One thing I want you to touch on, and I've saw it in some of your ads and stuff, is there's a difference between a sell-by date on a product and when it actually will go bad, right?
For sure.
So talk about that.
For sure. I believe it was somewhere in the 1970s that consumers basically demanded food suppliers to say, "Hey, we need to know how fresh this stuff is." So they started putting a date on. Budweiser made it popular by going born on dating, if you remember back in the day, back when the frogs were popular with Budweiser.
Yeah.
And it got to be where people really started paying attention to the date. But the difference between a sell-by and a use-by, sell-by is when it is at its freshest. Use-by is when it gets dangerous. Most things, though, for instance, a Pepsi, a Coke, a Dr. Pepper, a chip, unless it's dairy or chicken or something like that, most things that have a sell-by date can go past sometimes up to a couple weeks. If it's chips or drinks or something like that, it might be months before you could ever tell the difference.
Yeah.
So we're throwing away things that don't need to be thrown away. Now, if you're nervous about it, toss it.
Yeah.
But most things, for instance, canned goods. Canned goods have dates on it. Wonder how long, how many years after that date is that canned good?
There's no telling, isn't there?
Telling.
And so how do you when it comes to Feed America First, how do you make that decision as far as that date on that product? I mean, do you say, okay, a year past that or 2 years past that, or do you have a set way you do that?
What we do, first of all, it's educating the people that are picking up food from us, but we rely on the manufacturer. Because if you will call, even if you're at home today and you're like, "Hey, I've got some canned goods that are close to date or out of date," if you will call that manufacturer, they'll tell you how good that product is past that date.
Is that publicized anywhere? Do they publicize that anywhere? You got to physically call them to
You
ask
got to
them
call
that?
them.
That's crazy.
Because they would rather you go buy more food.
Oh yeah, they don't want their product to sell product. They want
Right.
to Yeah, well, that's amazing. We're talking with Mike Womack. He's the executive director of Feed America First. We got to take a break, though. Stay with us.
And now back to Today in Putnam County, hosted by Putnam County Mayor Randy Porter.
Welcome back to Today in Putnam County. I'm your host, County Mayor Randy Porter. Hope you're having a great week. Our guest today is Mike Womack. He's with Feed America First. He's actually the executive director. They're a nonprofit located in Rutherford County that covers a 250 miles radius going around Murfreesboro. They service Putnam County, and they're filling a need of folks that are going hungry, food insecurity. And it's kind of staggering when you talk about the numbers of 17.9% of all U.S. households are going to suffer from food insecurity at some point in time. It doesn't seem possible that we should be dealing with this in 2025, Mike, but we are.
We are.
And you're fulfilling the need. So you're getting all this food that would be going to the landfill or being thrown away that's still good food, and you're distributing it out to the folks around in that 250-mile radius. You need help doing that, though, right?
Always need help. Always need volunteers.
So tell people how would they get in touch with you? How would they figure out how that they can volunteer and help?
The easiest way is pay attention to either our website, feedamericafirst.com, any of the social platforms that you like, we're on there. You can call me at my personal number at 931-265-5878. Or if you can remember my name, Mike Womack at feedamericafirst.com, you can email me. There's plenty of opportunity out there, obviously, to come volunteer. We serve in 6 different locations every Thursday somewhere around that 250-mile area. For instance, we are in Cookeville every 4th Thursday, except for November and December. We move it up to the 3rd one to stay away from the holidays.
Yeah.
And so for about an hour and a half that day, we hand out to about 25 different ministries that come through. There's always room for more people to come and volunteer. That's right now held at Salem Church off of Salem Church Road. So people, it's going on right in the middle of town.
Right.
People don't even know what's going on.
Don't even know what's going on.
Correct.
Yeah, so we're trying to get the word out about Feed America First. So we were talking in the break. You saw a change in food and perishables and all those kind of things, and it had to do with COVID, right?
Pre-COVID, we would give away 70% non-perishable to 30% perishable. When COVID hit, first of all, the food that was coming out of the fields in California had to go somewhere. Restaurants are shut down, schools are shut down, so these farmers still need to move this product. So most food banks should have been flush. Well, also what got shut down at that time was manufacturers.
Yep.
So these soup aisles, your favorite store today that used to have a 16-foot soup aisle is now a 6-foot soup aisle. So if you follow that product backwards from your store, the distribution don't have as much, the warehouses don't have as much, they're not producing as much, so therefore we don't see as much. Now, the good thing is with the perishable, it's more nutritious, it's fresher, it's better. What it has made Feed America First do, we had to make a choice 3 years ago. We were using 53-foot trailers as our basically our big coolers and freezers.
Yeah.
Well, when you're starting to find that much more perishable, that works, but it's not efficient.
Right.
So we built an 8,200 square foot cooler and a 3,000 square foot freezer at a $2 million price tag.
Wow.
However, we knew that when we needed to make that jump, we could not do a capital campaign the normal way. We needed to build it and then figure out a way to pay for it.
Yeah.
So we have paid about half of it off. So if anybody has $1 million check laying around,
you welcome it
we
right?
welcome it right now. We want to pay that thing off. We don't like being in debt. Feed America First, until we built this, has never been in debt. God has always provided all of our needs, and He always will.
All right. Amen. Right.
But in that same mindset, it takes people to do it. We know God will never guide where He won't provide, but it may take Randy, it may take James, it may take Cindy to give $1.
Yeah.
And for every dollar, again, 98% goes to the mission, only 2% goes to overhead, but also that same dollar provides 15 meals over our history.
That's amazing.
It is amazing. And it's a God story.
It is. Well, with the food changing to more perishable stuff, you've got a short shelf life then on some of this stuff, right?
You need to move it pretty fast. Typically, something in our warehouse will last 72 hours. Besides the Thursdays we talked about where we give away food on off-site, on Wednesdays and Fridays, we have about 25 to 30 ministries that will come to us in Murfreesboro and pick up, and it's all perishable. So we get so much perishable, we need to move it. So a lot of times what these churches are doing now, you know how it is, Randy. Churches get stuck in a rut, and you just do what you do.
Yeah.
So I've had people say, well, we'd really like to pick up food from you, but we want to give away on a Tuesday, and you give away your food on Wednesday. Well, how about you give it away on Wednesday?
Yeah.
So
it's easier for them to change than you to change.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah.
So the day you pick it up, give it away.
Yeah.
People need it.
Yeah.
And you'd be surprised how many people, a lot of people, we all have pride. We're not supposed to have pride, but we have pride.
Yeah.
And when we have needs, it's hard for us to ask for help. But you'd be surprised how many people, if you just took them something, if there's an inkling, if the Holy Spirit's telling you there could be a need there, if you'll just take a bag of food and put it on the porch and walk away, that's all you got to do.
That's it. And so with all the inflation that we had recently over the last couple of years, has that played a part in this? And folks where their normal food bill may have been $200 and now it's $300 or $400, they may not can afford all of it. Are you seeing that with families?
Absolutely. People are having to make decisions that they should not have to make. Should I put gas in my car? Do I need to make this payment or that payment?
Yeah.
Do I need to get that medicine refilled? We live in the best country in the world.
Oh, absolutely.
And we should not be, regardless of who's in charge of politics, we still should not be in the shape that we're in.
Right.
We should make better decisions. And part of it's on us.
It is.
We need to make better decisions.
So do the health regulations, I mean, I think about the restaurants. I think about all the food that gets put in the landfills and stuff, and I'm sure there's lots of other markets and grocery stores and stuff. Does that get in the way any that is there health regulations that won't let them save the food or give it away? I've heard about that, but I don't know if it's true or not.
It can. There is a Good Samaritan law that helps.
Okay.
But we do live, as great as our country is, we also live in a country that they like to litigate and they like to go to court.
Yeah.
And when that happens, people are afraid to donate. And so there are restaurants and there are companies out there that have gotten sued and they're afraid to do that. And that's unfortunate.
It is.
So it does happen.
We were talking earlier about, and I hadn't thought about this, but after I was reading on your website about that sell-by date and when food actually spoils, we talk about spam all the time, that stuff, they use it in emergency food supplies that last years and years and years and years. There's a lot of food that we probably, you see that sell-by date and you think, oh, wow, well, this is not good if it's past that date. That's not true in most cases, right?
It's not true, especially when it's a sell-by date.
Yeah.
If it's a use-by date, you probably should pay a little more pay attention to it. I think the only thing that people really should be nervous about is when it's poultry or dairy. Really pay attention to that. But other than that, I think everything has a couple more weeks on it than what you think. If you're in doubt, if you will look up on that can, somewhere on that can or product somewhere is a phone number, customer service number from that manufacturer. If you will call them, they will let you know how good that item is past that date.
And so you can call and actually find out if it's still good or not. Do y'all handle a lot of frozen foods? Is that part of it?
Yeah, we do. A lot of soups, meats, things like that. We do have a lot of frozen foods.
So that's with freezer space, and then once you get ready, you got to get it out. Then once it comes out of the freezer, out to the locations pretty quick. Then
you do, and the best thing about the freezer, it gives you so much more time.
Yeah.
I will say this with frozen meat, where people usually make their poor decisions, is they'll leave something in their freezer for a long time. Chances are, when you get that turkey out or that ham or whatever, and if it's way past the date, it's probably not going to harm you.
Yeah.
But the texture is going to be different. Yeah. It's going to taste different.
It's going to taste different. So you got to be careful. Mike, I appreciate what y'all do with Feed America First. Tell them one more time, if they want to volunteer, donate, or whatever, how can they reach you folks?
FeedAmericaFirst.com. My phone number is 931-265-5878. Mike Womack at feedamericafirst.com is my email. Our website is set up where you can donate straight to the website. One really cool thing that's coming up that you could be involved with, especially if we could meet eye to eye, August 10th in Livingston, we are going to do an event at 1806 Barbecue, which is right there on the square. Kalen, that owns that restaurant, has offered up his restaurant that day. All proceeds go to Feed America First. And so it will be a great day. We're calling it Hunger Ends Here Sunday, trying to get all the churches involved and come over. You're going to eat Sunday anyway, so might as well come over there and eat.
Hey, that's a good deal.
Be part of it.
Absolutely. Thank you for what you're doing for our community. I appreciate you. You're doing God's work, and you're always in our prayers.
Thank you, sir.